Hello, welcome. Today is the day. I'm gonna clean out my pantry. This has been one of the things I've been putting off for a very long time because it is very overwhelming to me. And I'm actually overwhelmed right now because I'm looking at my kitchen table and I will show it to you, even though it's really embarrassing. This is my table, the kitchen table, or dining table, I don't know. But that's where I want to put all of the stuff from the pantry. So before I can start with the pantry, I have to clean off the table. Then I can start with the pantry. I have a lot of thoughts about this. So one thought that I have is I've been watching a lot of like Minimalist Mom. I'm sure you're familiar with her. If you're not, definitely check her out. But I've been watching a lot of Minimalist Mom, and her whole shtick, or not shtick, that sounds rude. Her deal is that she talks about inventory, right? Inventory in your house. Like, there's all this stuff in your house, and it needs to go away. Like, there needs to be less inventory if you want to be able to easily put things away. You want to easily be able to find things. You want everything to have a place. And so I'm a little anxious to do the pantry because I just feel like no matter where I start, there's always going to be a problem because I have too much stuff, right? So like, let's say I find stuff in the pantry today and it doesn't really have a different home, but I don't really want to throw it away. Then it's like, well, okay, now it's just still in the pantry and the pantry's still a mess. So that's my fear, but I'm not gonna let it stop me. I'm just gonna do one step at a time. Today is the pantry's day. Well, first the table and then the pantry. And then I'll deal with like I'll show you like all of these, you can see all of this disaster right here. Like the countertops are full, the cabinets are all full. And so, yeah, I'm just scared to start because it's a mess. And we have too much stuff. But I have to start somewhere. The pantry is like the biggest thing, and I'm just gonna start it today. And then I'll deal with the cabinets and the countertops another day. So come along and here we go. Okay, so I decided to just speed everything up and just talk with you this way because I did try to talk while I was filming, and unfortunately the audio was just not up to the level that I would like it to be. There were a lot of like chip bags crunching around and trash bags crunching around and stuff, so I'm just gonna talk to you this way, kind of explain the process of how everything went down. You can see the finished product back here, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, so this project, I was cleaning up the table just to make sure, you know, I had space to clean out the pantry. Like I said in the intro, was just really embarrassed about this whole process. I'm still, you know, sitting here looking at the rest of my kitchen that is a mess, and it is a little disheartening, but I am really proud of myself for the pantry. I really am happy about it. And even, you know, my husband came home, he was really happy and excited, and my son was excited. My daughter likes to play in there. We don't let her play in there all the time, but you know, it's just nice to have it clean. But the whole process, basically what I did is I went through and went shelf by shelf. So you'll see as the video goes on, I start with the top shelf. I am just clearing everything out. Then I'm coming back to the second shelf, third shelf, fourth shelf, all the way to the bottom. And I did it that way and made sure I put everything back before I started the next shelf because I didn't want to be left with like a major disaster if I got interrupted. So while I was cleaning out the pantry, my daughter was sleeping and taking a nap. And so if at any moment she had woken up, I would have easily been able to just kind of left whatever was happening where it was and not have to worry too much about it. So I recommend, if you are taking on a bigger area like this, that you kind of just do it in chunks. So clean it out, organize it, put it back, and then start the next level, because you don't want to have like everything taken out all over your table, all over the floor, and then you get interrupted and then you lose motivation. And by the time you come back, you're just not in the mood anymore. And now you have this bigger mess than you had before. So that's my recommendation for that. I learned that from the Minimal Mom, or Minimalist Mom. I'm not sure which one, but I'll put it somewhere. But yeah, I really just happy with how I approached that, because I think in the past I used to think that I had to clear everything out all at once and take everything out off all of the shelves, or if I was doing like my clothing closet, take everything out and start from scratch. And that's just really not necessary. You don't have to do it like that. I think doing it this way, just doing one shelf at a time and putting everything back, is really a less intimidating way to go. And then you can start and stop if you need to. While I was going through this process, there was a lot that I threw away. So much, not everything was expired. Like, not everything I threw away was necessarily expired, but I did find myself making a lot of emotional decisions, where it's like, oh my goodness, I spent a lot of money on this item. Or I, had high hopes for this item. And so those were the types of things I was throwing away. Like, I call some of the snacks that I threw away like aspirational snacks. Like I was aspiring to a certain lifestyle or a certain health outcome or whatever. Like with my daughter, she's a toddler, and so I had this aspiration that she would eat like, healthy little pouches of vegetable puree, right? She doesn't like those. She doesn't like them. And I've had them in that pantry for, I don't know, maybe 6 months to a year. She doesn't eat them. She doesn't like them. I've offered them to her multiple times. She doesn't care. So those were the kind of things like I just had to let go. Certain items like that, even for myself, like, oh, I'm gonna eat these like keto clusters. And great, like that would be nice, right? If I was gonna eat the keto clusters, but the truth is I got them at Costco, I opened them, I had a few, they were fine. And then I just never came back to them because, I'm doing intermittent fasting and I really just don't snack anymore. Like I eat my meals and then I'm not eating for, 18, 20 hours. So there's just not room in my diet for that kind of snack. So that's the kind of thing. It's like, okay, yes, I spent a lot of money on it. Yes, that is supposed to be like a great treat, but it's just not something we eat in our house, and that's okay. So it's time to just let it go. Another thing that I came across was that I was finding like multiple bags of the same thing that were open, and that is just a symptom of having a pantry that's super cluttered. It's just a symptom of having something that, where you don't know what you have. Like I spoke about inventory in the intro. Like if I don't know what my inventory is, then I'm going to buy more of the same thing because I don't know that I already have one, or I don't know that we already have an almost full one that's open. And so that's another area where I wasted a lot of money, is just buying things that we already had, that I wasn't aware of. So what else? One thing I would like to talk about is waste and the money piece of that. Like my husband made the comment like, oh, you could have donated this. Yes, absolutely. Like for a lot of the things that were not expired, yes, I could have donated those things. I have made a really hard decision in my decluttering journey, which is I'm going to do the thing that makes it easiest for me to get the job done. So for many years, the reason that we continue to live in this sort of environment with the clutter is that I have this idea in my head, like, oh, I have to separate things into donate, throw away, and keep. And then I have to go and donate the things. And then I sometimes like, oh, well, I want to separate this to take to this particular place to donate. And I want to separate this so that I can sell it at the consignment store. And then I want to separate this so that I can put it on Facebook Marketplace. And in the case of food, it would be like, oh, okay, like I'm going to make my bag of things to donate to the food pantry or church or, wherever I would donate food items. And that's fine. And I think that's a noble thing to do and a good thing to do and an appropriate thing to do if you are somebody who has sort of the bandwidth, like the mental and emotional bandwidth to actually follow through with the donation part. I know for myself, I do donate quite a bit of stuff to like Goodwill and only because it is literally across the street from Walmart where I go to get groceries. So if the Goodwill was not across the street from Walmart, I would not go there. I just wouldn't. And so for me, like, I don't know where there's a food pantry. And if I spend time feeling guilty or worrying about where this food is going to go, it's going to halt my progress in the activity that I'm trying to accomplish. So I'm sorry, I may get some hate for that, but that is just the way that my brain is working. That is a decision I had to make, even though it was a difficult one. But for me, with my like kind of hoarder tendencies, the fewer decisions I have to make, the better. So in my case with this project, I only had 2 decisions to make. One decision was, is this good or bad? Like, does this stay in my house or does it leave my house? And then does it stay in the pantry in one of these bins or does it go somewhere else in my kitchen? And that was it. Those were the 2 decisions. So it either went in the garbage or it went back where it belonged in the house. Once I start sort of overcomplicating things and putting everything in all these categories and all of that, like, that's when I get just overwhelmed and I stop. So I don't know what your process is. I would love to know, like, if you have a different sort of mindset around that. But I think just for me, that has been an important realization that, I can sit here and feel really bad about all the money that I've wasted. I can sit here and feel really guilty that I just threw a bunch of food in the garbage instead of taking the time to donate it. But that's just not worth my time. What is done. And my ultimate goal was to reduce the amount of things in our house and make it so that it is easier for us to function in our home, in our day-to-day life. This is my dog whining. And that's really it. Like, if you watch my toddler room declutter, same kind of idea. Like, we just got rid of a lot of things, and the benefit of that is that now when her room is a mess, it literally only takes me about 4 minutes to clean it. I'm gonna put an update video about that because it's amazing. Like, I can't wait for the rest of my house to be like that. I can't wait for the rest of my home to be so downsized that I can clean it and tidy up in a few minutes per room. Because right now, anytime, as you saw at the beginning of this video, anytime I want to do something that involves cleaning or tidying or whatever, I have to start with something else before I can get to the thing that I really want to do. Whether it's the kitchen and the dining table, whether it's my bedroom where before I can do laundry, I have to put away the clean laundry because the clean laundry is in the basket that the dirty laundry needs to get put into. Like, it's just sort of this game of like Tetris, of like trying to fit things in different places and trying to, okay, I'm gonna shove all this over here so that I can clean this. And now that this is clean, now I've got to put stuff here so that I can clean over here. Like, I'm so tired of living that way. And the only way that I can see a path forward is truly to just do what I did here and just be brutal and just throw stuff in the garbage and just be done with it so I can move on. And then as I move forward, my plan is to just be more mindful of what I'm bringing into the home, be more mindful when I'm creating grocery lists each week, and be more mindful when when I think I need something new or I want to try something new in the home, just to really think about it before I spend the money on it, and before I potentially waste either food or a product. So I hope this video is helpful for you. I plan to do many more decluttering videos over the course of the next year. That is my plan. So far, I've done my toddler's room on here. I've done this pantry. I have filmed some footage of some other things, but I think I'm just gonna start over because those things have gotten recluttered already, which again just speaks to the idea that I just need to downsize the inventory that I have so that it can truly be something that is sustainable and something that lasts. So thank you for watching. I'm so happy that you were here with me. And if you have any questions or thoughts or comments, whether they be negative or positive, here I am. I'm putting myself out here on the internet for all to see, and I hope ultimately that what I'm doing is kind of a motivation for you to do the things in your house and in your everyday life that you've been putting off for a really long time. It is hard. This was hard. It took me probably over an hour from start to finish, but it was not impossible, and I did it, and I'm so happy, and we are already reaping the benefits of having easy access to all of the things that we actually like and are using. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next week in the next video. So thanks so much. Bye-bye.